Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here with episode 4 of the Jessy and Timmy Show, and we got Jessy this way. I always do it the wrong way. Over here, how is it going?
Hello. I am good. How are you?
I'm doing really good myself. Been a while since we've been on together.
A couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've been busy.
Oh yeah.
We've had stuff going on. We've been busy.
But even with all of that, there's still plenty to talk about here today. We've got a number of topics we're going to talk about, like the Women's Royal Rumble match, Tony Khan, Corey Graves being cleared to wrestle, and so much more. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, YouTube.com/PWUnlimited, and Twitter.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. No, Twitter.com/PWUnlimited. I always mess that up for some reason. But with that, remember, if you're watching on Twitch, you can help us out with either a bit donation in the live chat or subscribing to the channel with either a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming. And Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and free subscriptions on Twitch. So you can subscribe to us right here. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out with a super chat or a super sticker donation. All of that is very, very, very appreciated. Plus, you can subscribe down below, hitting that join button. You'll become a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. But what do you want to start talking about? You want to kick it off and talk about the Women's Rumble?
Let's start off with Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, because that's the topic of the day. That's the big news of the day. So I'm going to pull up a report from Fightful that went out this morning. And I'm going to say it. Big news always drops when I'm not home. Not home.
You say this a lot. You say this often, don't you? You said it last time as well.
Because this morning, my mom had to take her car. She got a new car. And she had to take it to get her windows tinted. And she needed someone to come pick her up because she had to leave her car there for like 5 hours. And so I'm like, okay, I'll come get you. I leave the house, and not 10 minutes later, this Corey Graves news comes out. Not 10 minutes later, but according to Fightful, Corey Graves has been cleared to wrestle, and he's been cleared for a while. Fightful states that they have learned that longtime color commentator Corey Graves has had a major status shift over the last year. They say that sources they have spoken to in WWE claim that the situation with Graves is actually that he's been cleared by WWE doctors at some point. Oh, wait. I want to look something up because I think they may have changed their report. Hold on one second. I swear earlier it said 2020. But I can actually. Maybe they. So earlier it said WWE doctors at some point in 2020, but they have corrected that to say 2021. But the weird thing there is they've corrected that in 2 different spots to say 2021. So he hasn't been cleared for as long as we thought for the original report. So the report has been actually edited and updated. But it says WWE doctors, which is another interesting one there, because that means he's cleared within the company. Unlike with Bryan Danielson, who a bunch of doctors were telling him, you're clear, you're clear, you're clear, but WWE's doctors weren't clearing him. So Graves is cleared by WWE's doctors. Now, WWE has not confirmed this to Fightful, but that is the word, and it has been largely discussed behind the scenes, especially since Corey Graves last year, for 90 seconds was the 24/7 champion? It is not even 2 minutes. He won the title. Byron rolled him up. He lost the title. But the interesting thing with that is that before, he was on a no contact list, which means he can't get physical with anybody and nobody can get physical with him. Yet, he can be physical now. So we'll see how it goes. The report also goes on to state that Corey Graves has talked a lot recently about wanting to get cleared and wrestle again. And he did a podcast episode with Edge where he basically said, hey, me watching you come back inspires me to maybe want to try and come back as well. So that's the first time we heard it. And then Corey Graves started teasing maybe he wanted to be in the Rumble. Then X-Pac said that he's cleared, and Corey Graves goes, I'll have a match with you. And I'm like, wait, you'll have a match with X-Pac? Are you good to go? And again, we had heard things over the last however many months that maybe Corey Graves was trying to get cleared, But this here confirms that he has been cleared, and he hasn't wrestled since 2014 when he was in NXT. So
interesting.
Very interesting. I know he is a former NXT Tag Team Champion. Him and Pac, the former Neville, were Tag Team Champions. And a lot of people, like, say you're a WWE fan just within the last 4 or 5 years, you wouldn't know that Corey Graves was a former wrestler. A, because he hasn't wrestled since 2014. B, he never wrestled on the main roster that I'm aware of. And C, he's just so darn good at his job in commentary. You would think that that's just what he's always practiced and what he's always trained to do was commentary. So I'm interested. I think, and with this news coming out, they still probably could do it, but I think he could be in maybe a surprise in the Rumble coming up at the end of the month.
If they do, if he is going to be, if they ruin it and tell us he's going to be in it, I'm going to be fuming. I'm going to be so annoyed.
Well, see, WWE hasn't stated that Corey Graves is cleared and good to go. This is just the report from Fightful. So, but I get where you're coming with the whole surprises thing and ruining surprises. And they haven't ruined all the women's surprises. There's still 11 open spots.
I'm so annoyed about it. I'm so annoyed because, don't get me wrong, okay, it's great that they're going to have some surprises, but the Bellas should not have said the Bellas were coming. Like, no, you wait till that music hits. You wait till that music goes off.
So apparently on the latest Bella podcast, they said themselves that they're not, and I'm going to pull up the quote here, they're not upset that this was announced. So Nikki Bella said the following: I was shocked they announced it because usually these are surprises, but I understand marketing wise. Bree then stated, business wise, it makes sense because now we can have the whole Bella army there. And Nikki would go on to state, it's also fun to have surprises. My guess is there will be still some surprises, but I have no idea. Is it a comeback? The greatest thing about WWE and a big pay-per-view like this, the Royal Rumble, is you can come back for one great night and have fun. When I saw that Lita was in the match, even Summer Rae, I can't believe Summer Rae. That's what the Royal Rumble does. It brings together all these different generations of women and men to meet in the ring for one big night. And that's why it's important to go to the Royal Rumble, because you might not see a lot of these faces or have seen them for a long time. So, I mean, they said that, yeah, it would have been cool to be a surprise, but they understand and they're not upset that them being in the match was spoiled. But the interesting thing here is I thought on the Bella podcast, Nikki had said like 3 months ago that doctors were telling her not to wrestle again.
This is what I was thinking, because I saw something a little while ago saying they will not be returning at all.
Right. And
they are not returning back to the ring.
She spoke about that, says Nikki spoke on getting cleared, stating, in the world of wrestling, any professional sport, people always make comebacks. What's beautiful about WWE is we can make comebacks as many times as we want, as long as our bodies let us and the doctors. I officially got cleared. I think everyone remembers from Total Bellas when we had the first Women's Rumble. There were a lot of rules on me. Those are the same. When we were in Phoenix, Arizona, I went in and saw my surgeon. They scanned me. I did an MRI. Scans on my brain, my neck, everything you can do, they did. I was manifesting, please let this be a clearance, because I felt bad if all these people came in for the holidays, and it was a big no. I wanted to share with everyone, but it's been a secret. It feels good to know miracles can happen. So she didn't go into too many details on how she got cleared, but they did all the tests and everything came back good, saying that she can wrestle.
The thing is that, they haven't exactly got the biggest roster at the minute, have they?
Right.
For the women, they're kind of having to fill it up a little bit.
So when we look at, and I guess we're gonna switch over to talking about the Women's Rumble. When we look at the Women's Rumble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 11 announced. No, 6 of the 19 announced names are not current WWE wrestlers. So if we break it down, it's the Bella Twins, Naomi, Lita Rhea Ripley, Carmella Zelina, Michelle McCool, Shotzi, Kelly, Dana Brooke, Tamina, Summer Rae, which shocked me almost more than Mickie James. Mickie James is in this match, which they stated Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts champion. Shayna Baszler,
beautiful.
Natalia, Aaliyah, and Nikki ASH. But the big thing with Mickie is apparently on the list of names, it stated her as Knockouts champion. So this wasn't like Pat McAfee just going, wait, Mickie James is the Knockouts champion. No, that's how she was listed on the list of names. So it's not like a lot of people were like, oh, Pat McAfee just saying whatever he wants again. No, that's the directive that she's to be called Impact Knockouts champion. And spoiler from last weekend's pay-per-view, she's still the champion.
I love the fact that they're actually going to be like, oh, she's if she come on, bring the belt. Oh,
that would be cool.
I'd love it.
Really cool.
That would be really damn cool.
But now I'm trying to think, have we ever seen someone that's a champion enter the Rumble while wearing their belt, like a U.S. champion or a tag team champion? I don't think they do. I mean, they can.
No.
Just hand it off to one of the referees or whatever around ringside.
I think they could do it because of the situation.
I think they should.
Because it's I think they could do that, and I think it'd go well, and it'd just be like, you know, they've opened that door. They've opened the door.
Now,
like, that would be cool.
Speaking of opening that door, should they open the door for other people, like maybe bringing in somebody for the men's Rumble, or maybe even another female for the women's Rumble?
That would be cool.
If so. Now I'm going to ask, if they bring in another outside female for the Women's Rumble, who would you like to see? And I know everyone's like, oh, well, call AEW and get Britt Baker. I don't know if that's really that realistic.
I think it's going to, I think because of the Impact, now they've got that little conversation, it would be someone from Impact, I think.
So
could we have like Maria?
Maybe.
The one person I'd like to see would be Deonna.
Yes. I think Deonna Purrazzo would fit well.
That would be really cool.
And I know, again, another spoiler from last week's Impact taping, Deonna did win the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So if Deonna Purrazzo were to come into this match, she would come in not with just the ROH Women's title, but she's got the AAA Women's Championship as well. So I don't know how that would go over because AAA works with AEW.
Know what? I'm excited. I'm excited because bring in like Mickie back after everything. There is a lot of people they could bring in. Like, if they don't bring Victoria in, I'm going to be fuming because she's obviously my favourite. I'm going to be really angry. I'd love her. There could be Melina is one that I'd love.
That's one of the rumor names that came out yesterday.
Oh, imagine.
Yesterday, PW Insider reported.
Queen.
So yesterday, PW Insider reported that two possible females are Melina and the former Cameron.
Oh.
Those are two names that have been apparently talked about backstage as far as coming in for the Women's Rumble. And
what about like the NXT ladies?
That's what I was thinking. It's like, do they bring any? Because there's 11 slots not announced. So I would assume like a Dakota Kai or Raquel Gonzalez. But do you put Mandy in there as the NXT Women's Champion? We've seen.
I don't think she would.
Well, we've seen the NXT champion in a Rumble before. Andrade did it. And he was NXT champion. He was in the Royal Rumble. So they're not against putting the NXT champion in the Rumble. And it's a familiar main roster name in Mandy Rose. Because I think it'd actually not be a bad idea. Throw all three members of Toxic Attraction in there and have them work together for a little bit. That could actually not be a bad idea.
You know what? I don't know if I'd want them all in there. I'd maybe like to see Gigi in there. Raquel definitely.
Right.
That would be cool. That would be really cool to see her against some of like the old ones they're bringing back. That would be cool. There's so
I'm
many
gonna look up. Has Raquel done a Royal Rumble?
I don't think she has. I was about to say I don't think she has. Is she?
I'm trying to look.
No, as far as I'm aware.
Let's see. What is this from an interview? So back in December, she was asked about doing the Royal Rumble, and she says, "Oh, I wish that could happen, but I don't know."
I reckon she will.
I was just trying to see if she's done it yet.
Very surprised.
Yeah, so it seems like from this, she hasn't been in a Rumble before. Because we've seen plenty of NXT women do the Rumble. Like Dakota Kai's been in the Rumble.
Yep.
So.
Candice LeRae's done it, isn't she? She's done it. Casey's done it.
Yeah, Casey
I'd like to see
Catanzaro.
Io Shirai. I'd like to see her.
They're not against putting NXT names in the Rumble. We always get a couple of them. It's like,
but a lot of the time they kind of just throw them in there. Like when they did the Chelsea Green thing, they just threw her in there. That was pointless.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
But that's the whole thing. They're like, oh, it's NXT. They could just fill spots. They see them as spot fillers. Well, not when they did the Women's Battle Royal at Mania that one year, and they had like the 5 NXT women stand up like tall above everybody, like they knocked everybody out or something. That one, I think it was the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal, where there was that one time where it was like five women from NXT, and they were like all working together.
I'm quite surprised that they're not put in. I'm surprised about obviously they're doing the Beth and the Maurice obviously situation. I'm very, very surprised that they're doing that and not having them in the Rumble. Very surprised by that.
Right.
Because personally, I would have loved to have seen either one of them even win the Rumble. Like Beth having another run of the title. Just give her the world. Give Beth the world, please.
The name I forgot to mention, Charlotte Flair, as the SmackDown Women's Champion, is in the Women's Rumble. She said, she's like, I'm going to be the first champion to win a Rumble and then declare who I want as my challenger at WrestleMania. So, and it's WWE, so for some reason I feel like that's a very, very strong possibility because it's like, oh, here's something Charlotte hasn't done yet. Win a Rumble as a champion because she won the Rumble a few years back, but she hasn't won it as a champion. So that could be another record or moment that only Charlotte Flair has done.
Of course. Oh, I'm intrigued. But as long as they don't give us any more surprises, then I'm happy.
Right.
Just don't give me any more because I want to sit. I'm like doing some of the hosting, and we're going to be in a bar full of 300 people. I just want to go there and just not even know anything and just wait for them to come out. That's all I want. And so I can get excited. I'm having a drink. I'll get excited. That's me. That's all I want. I don't even know who they're going to put in the men's.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. If they can bring somebody not in WWE in for the men's Rumble, who would it be? I know Moose has been teasing on social media, but I think that's just Moose playing it up because of the Mickey thing.
I wouldn't even know, you know.
Because I'm trying to think.
I don't know who I'd want in there.
I'm trying to think who would be an interesting surprise from outside of WWE. And also, you also got to think with both Royal Rumbles, AJ Styles debuted in the Royal Rumble in 2016. So there can be somebody we're not thinking of that's not signed anywhere that can sign and they immediately put into the Rumble as well, like they did with AJ. Because I know if everything is still on par with where it was last year, Jay White, his contract is like up right around Rumble time. Because last year his contract was up at the end of January with New Japan, and he signed a 1-year extension. And WWE was interested in Jay White.
That would be interesting.
But is Jay White somebody that they put straight to the main roster, or do they start him in NXT?
Oh, they'd put him on the main roster. They wouldn't put him in NXT.
They put LA Knight in NXT, and I thought he was main roster ready before he came to WWE.
Nah, I couldn't see it. I could see him going straight to the main roster.
Right.
Oh, see, just if they just don't ruin the surprises for me, please. Please don't ruin it. I'm begging them. Don't ruin it.
Now,
because I will be
two NXT names we could see in the men's rumble: Pete Dunne and Tommaso Ciampa, because they've been working dark matches over the last 5-6 days.
Give me Pete Dunne. Give me Pete Dunne in the Royal Rumble, please. He hasn't done it, has he?
Let's look it up really fast. I don't think so.
I don't think he has.
And I'm pretty sure Ciampa didn't either.
No. Oh.
Remember, Ciampa worked. Both of them worked on dark match before SmackDown last week, and they worked the main event tapings ahead of Raw this week. I don't see anything that says that Pete Dunne was in the 2019 Royal Rumble.
Oh, he was in it.
He was in the 2019 Rumble.
But we've got a thing is we've got. Oh, was he? I don't remember.
Ciampa has not done a Royal Rumble.
Oh, that could be.
And so far, they've only announced 10 men. There's still
not many.
Like 10 or 11.
Sure, not a tag team. Are they? They're a tag team, aren't they?
Say it again? You cut out.
Aren't they? Majority of them tag teams have announced for the Rumble.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, because they got the Mysterios, they've got the Street Profits. I'm trying to pull up the list.
So, what is that deal?
It's just fill spots. To be honest, it's just spot filling. I think Big E wins the Rumble.
You reckon?
I think, honestly, I'm going to go out on a limb. I said this the other night. Big E wins the Rumble. Seth beats Roman for the Universal title. Big E, Seth Rollins, Universal title, WrestleMania. And then not only does it put them in a match together at WrestleMania, but it brings both of them to SmackDown. Big E's now back with the New Day, but he's still a singles guy going for the main title. That's a prediction I made. And then you also can get Roman somehow getting a match against Brock for the WWE title.
I know what I was going to say. I was thinking about this today. I think Bayley's going to come back.
Bayley's been posting a lot of training videos, like her doing her rehab and stuff. More than actually, I don't follow her social media a lot, but I don't think I really saw as many of these videos before the last 2 weeks. But, like every day she's been posting, my leg's getting stronger.
She's been a lot more active on social media recently. I've seen it.
And when
she's replied to everyone.
When she did her little charity Instagram stream right before Christmas, she was like, I could be coming back soon, but what is soon?
Yeah, see, I'm here. I'm here for it. Bayley to return, please.
I mean, they lost Sasha. Sasha can't do the Rumble.
Which is interesting, actually, of her not being in it.
I think this is the second or third time Sasha will miss the Rumble because of an injury.
Oh, that's sad.
I know, I'm 99% sure she wasn't in last year's Royal Rumble. I'll look that up. Royal Rumble 2020.
Oh, she was.
Someone had told me that this is the second year in a row she'll miss the Rumble, but I'm going to double check that. Let's see. Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks. Yeah, no.
There's a lot of things about Paige as well. I've seen a few things about Paige.
Sasha Banks was the women's champion last year, so she wasn't in the Rumble match. That's why. So people were making too much out of nothing. Like, oh, second year in a row, Sasha's not in the Rumble match. Well, that's because last year she was a champion. She defended against Carmella. Well, see, here's the thing with Paige. I know recently on her Twitch, she had stated that, and I don't know if maybe she's just not trying to give out too much information, but she stated that she's not good to go to have matches, but she can work out in a ring. And because she can work out in a ring, she's actually secured a ring and location to possibly do seminars, like training seminars in 2022. She stated that she would like to do a full weekend of seminars with beginner classes and either intermediate to advanced classes for indie wrestlers that want to come in, to where not only will she teach them how to work, but she wants to do the advanced classes of, I've been in WWE. I know how you need to be ready for television. So I want to train people to be ready for television. And then she also, in her seminars, wants to do a mental health class as well.
Oh, nah, it's good.
She's like,
I like that.
because this was like 3 weeks ago now, maybe. Because she was like, I can't announce everything, but we're working on some stuff. I have a team already set, who I'm not going to say who they are, and we have a ring and location on hold.
Oh, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah. And then she said something about she wants to also film the whole thing, so that way if people can't make it, they can still experience it.
Do you know what? I actually think this year, for me, I'm actually more excited about the women's rumble than the men's. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually more excited for the women's this year.
I think the men's rumble is more predictable.
I think it was last year as well.
I think the men's rumble is more predictable.
Yeah, because there's a lot more men to start with. There's really, who are they really going to bring in? I'm more excited because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The fact they can bring in Mickie James, who the hell can
exactly?
The fact the Bellas,
who just 3 months ago said that, I'm probably not going to wrestle again.
Yeah, you just don't know.
And then, based off of what Nikki said, it sounds like she just got cleared too, because she said something about getting cleared right before the holidays, which would have meant in the last month.
December, yeah.
That's another interesting one of. Now we got to think Summer Rae as well. That's one that I would have never Mickie James. When you think of Mickie James, you go, that's interesting because of the way she was released and she's working with other companies. But Summer Rae, when's the last time Summer Rae even had a match?
She hasn't been in any of the Rumbles, is she?
No.
Is she?
I can tell you exactly. Okay, Summer Rae's
random.
Yeah, very random.
Isn't it? Very
Summer
random.
Rae hasn't worked a match since October of 2019. And so, interesting.
Weird.
So, her last WWE match was August 2016. Then in May of 2018, she worked one match for BCW in Australia. And then in October of 2019, she worked one other match in Australia, and that's been it. She's had 2 matches since she was released by WWE and hasn't wrestled since the end of 2019. So it's like, is she maybe coming back? Or is this we don't have enough women, we're just calling everybody?
You're going to call me next.
I mean, there was a rumor going around that they asked Taya Valkyrie and she said, screw you.
Do you blame her?
No, not at all.
No.
I don't know if that's 100% true, but that was a rumor going around like 2 days ago.
Yeah, no, I don't blame her.
They're like, what big names can we bring in? And she's like, yeah, no.
No.
Yeah. You fired me and then my husband? And didn't, what? No.
I don't blame her for being angry, to be fair.
Yeah. Like, she moved to Florida, all of that, and then we see that a lot. People move all the way across the country for WWE, and it doesn't even last a year.
I didn't exactly do much with her either.
No. She maybe had
She's talented as well.
She had 4 matches in NXT, and that was it. She's, in my opinion, she's one of the best female wrestlers overall in the world. So she wrestled 2, 3, 4, 6 NXT matches. That was it.
She's got so much potential. So much potential.
6 NXT matches, and she won half of them. Won 3, lost 3. Granted, one was a title match against Raquel, but still. And oh man, look! I'm looking at all of her matches here. Only one of her matches went longer than 3.5 minutes, and it was that title match with Raquel Gonzalez.
That's rude. That's rude.
Her first Cora Jade match was 3 minutes 11 seconds. Then she beat Elektra Lopez in 3 minutes and 27 seconds. She beat Jessy Jane in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. She teamed with Jessi Kamea against Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter in a 3 minute and 28-second match. The women's title match went almost 7 minutes, and then she lost to Cora Jade in her last match in 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
It's rude.
Yeah.
She didn't even have a chance.
Her. Like, one of the best females you can sign, and you underutilize her that much. I understand why she would be that upset with the company. But I know she's announced for a couple of different shows now. I know she's working the AAA show in February. She just announced something for Hurricane Pro Wrestling as well. So she's getting back out there.
She's got a lot. She's got a lot to give.
She's someone
so much left to give.
She's someone that anybody would want to pick her up. She even said that if, and I don't know if maybe she's already talked with them or not, she said that if AEW was interested, she would go.
Of course.
And I think
they'd have someone brilliant there.
Mm-hmm.
They're stupid. If they don't snap her up, they're stupid.
Yeah, because they need more veteran women that can help these younger girls. And she'd be perfect.
A lot of young girls. Yeah, there's a lot that need someone as a mentor, kind of. You know, she's got the experience and she's still got loads of career left to go.
When you look at the AEW women's roster, I can only really think of 3 veteran females, well, 4 now, on that roster. Mercedes Martinez, Ruby Soho, Thunder Rosa, and Serena Deeb are like their veteran women. But you need more than that because you don't want to start having a lot of samey matches. You need more women that can come in, work with the others, and help them get better. Because it's not like they're not sending their women out to a training facility or to other companies to go get more reps in, which I think they should do. It's just you work your maybe 1 match a week, if that. And some women work 1-2 matches. In AEW, some women are working like 2 matches a month. That's not enough to get better. So it would be a great name for them to sign.
Really good.
I mean, another option, which we haven't heard the roster yet, maybe since she lives in LA, they're going to film in LA, Women's of Wrestling. Wow. You can go work with them.
I don't think she would.
I mean, she wouldn't have to travel. And it would be like...
I don't think she would because of... Tessa.
Maybe. Because I was just thinking, it'd be easy for her. They do they take like a TV show. They film seasons at a time if they're still going to do it the same way.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, hey, you're already here in LA. Why not come in and do a whole season of tapings? But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't think she would just because of that.
Very possible.
Which would be a shame.
Unless they can get AJ Lee to convince her, because AJ's a producer for them. They got AJ working as a producer writer.
Yeah, I suppose.
So because I was talking to a friend when they first announced AJ Lee. She goes, a lot of people may not want to do it because of Tessa, but having AJ there could convince some women to go, no, this is different. We're gonna have a different vibe, and maybe AJ can help convince other women. Hey, no, come here.
I hope AJ is gonna come in and say to Tessa, if you give me any rubbish, I'm gonna backhand you. No more. Naughty.
Because I think they said she's gonna do commentary as well, AJ Lee, but I'm not 100% if I remember. AJ Lee. I think they said she was gonna do commentary as well.
Really?
Yeah. AJ Mendez to do WoW commentary. That would be a cool one to hear. Her on commentary.
Interesting.
But
the
Royal Rumble coming up at the end of the month. Just trying to think who, because we really didn't come up with any names for the men's Rumble of WWE. It's like, yeah, they can maybe. If they do, I think maybe just one. And I just can't think
I can't even think who.
And the only reason I keep thinking Moose is just because of Mickey. Because she's the Impact Knockouts champion, so he's the Impact World Champion. If they're working with Impact, just give them both your main champions. And Moose keeps teasing, I'm going to go win the Royal Rumble and beat Roman Reigns for his title at WrestleMania.
I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's a question from the Twitch chat. This person, Sin Saturday, is asking, is Britt Baker considered a veteran? I would say no.
No.
I don't think so.
I like Britt Baker. I think she's cool.
Because, let's see, Britt Baker's only been wrestling since 2015. So she's only got maybe 6 years. And a lot of that was working here and there while still in school. So not working a lot.
Yeah.
And then she's done.
Someone said on the YouTube chat about the Walter bin in it.
I mean, there is that rumor of Walter moving to the States. But would you really? So here's the thing. Walter being in the Royal Rumble would be cool. He ain't going to win it, and they're probably not going to do much with him. I mean, remember the last time Vince McMahon had Walter in a match? It was Survivor Series when there was NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown. Walter was eliminated after like 3 minutes.
But I think he could be a big guy in it.
Mm-hmm.
They need the big guys, and they haven't exactly got Keith Lee anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Strowman anymore. They're going to need someone to kind of, if obviously Big E's in it, they're going to need someone to kind of start. He's going to need a bigger guy.
I mean, it would get a great reaction. Walter coming out would get a great reaction.
Oh, it'd be a great reaction. Really good reaction.
I mean, what I think would get a good reaction is Walter and Pete Dunne in there together, because Walter's the one that beat Pete Dunne when he was the NXT UK champion. And so seeing them go back and forth for a minute, I think that would be really cool, just because their history.
The whole of the UK will be losing their absolute minds.
Right.
If that happened, because we love them here. We love them. Pete Dunne especially, we'd be losing our minds.
This person's asking maybe Jonathan Gresham, the ROH champion. That's a possibility.
Give me and Jordan as well. Jordan Grace.
I mean, we know the Impact Digital Media champion. There's another champion from Impact.
Give me that. Them two, yeah. Or, but do you know what? I could see Sonya Deville
making her big in-ring return at the Rumble. She said that they talked about it for last year, but there wasn't. Apparently, Vince said that there wasn't a good enough story going into it to make it feel impactful for her just to randomly return in the Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, but I think she'd get great reaction though. She'd get a brilliant pop.
No, I think she would get a great reaction. But I think the way she alluded to it was when she spoke to Vince about it, he felt like it was kind of like an underwhelming way for her to return to the ring. Just kind of just randomly, oh, she's in the Rumble, she can wrestle again. She's going to wrestle more. Is what the way she made it sound was like they felt like it may just be a little underwhelming. Of that's just how she gets back into an actual match.
I get that.
Apparently.
Or she could have like a little bit of a altercation with someone in the Rumble, and then it could start something.
Here's an idea based off of that. Naomi eliminates her, and that's how Naomi finally gets her match. She goes, you know what? You eliminated me from the Rumble. No, I want to fight you now for real.
That is just a beautiful, beautiful feud. And they're like two of my favorites as well, so that'd be sick. But two people that don't get used enough.
Here's my question. If Sonya is back as a full-time wrestler, can she still be the authority figure? Because I adore her in this role that she's in right now. I think she is amazing. Can she still be authority as a wrestler, though?
That's the thing, isn't it? But what would be cool is if Mandy Rose was in the Rumble, Sonya Deville was in the Rumble, and then we had them as they had the altercation, and then we can have Sonya for a bit on NXT.
Not a bad idea.
Have a little bit of, toxic attraction situation. Obviously, no more fire and desire.
Toxic attraction or Demandy's Donuts? Which one do you side with?
Right. So here we go. I'm booking it all. I'm booking it.
Right.
booking the whole damn thing.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of possibilities. There's, like I said, there is 11 slots still open in the Women's Rumble. There are 20 slots still open in the Men's Rumble. And there is, how many weeks left? There is...
Not that many.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from this Saturday is the Royal Rumble.
I am very excited.
And so coming out of that, we will know 2 WrestleMania matches. Whoever wins the Men's Rumble, whoever wins the Women's Rumble. And I think, because in years past, sometimes, someone wins the Rumble and you go, ooh, I don't know who they're going to challenge. But I think this year, for some reason, it's going to be more predictable based off of who wins, what belt they go for.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 ways the Men's Rumble goes. It's either Big E or Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns could lose to Seth Rollins, jump in, enter the Rumble, win the Rumble, and that's how he gets his match with Brock Lesnar.
I would be livid. I'm sorry, but I'd be I'd be fuming. No. As much as I love Roman Reigns, if they do that, I'll kick off. I'll be writing a letter to WWE and be like, listen, no, not the one. Well, I don't think he's going to lose. I don't think he's going to lose the title.
Well, because I remember, what was it, 2017 or 18, when he challenged Kevin Owens for the Universal title, lost, and then jumped in and was the 30th entrant in the Men's Rumble. So.
No, thank you. No, sorry. I don't want it. I will refuse.
You got to find out how to get him and Brock for Mania somehow.
Oh, but do you know what? I'm looking forward to Big Bobo and Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley should be amazing. And no more than maybe 5-6 minutes. It doesn't need to be long at all.
Doesn't, but that's people buzzing for it. People were so excited for that match.
Yeah, because when Bobby Lashley came back in 2018, that's what everyone said. Oh, we can get Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, and then they never even teased it till now. So
exciting, and especially now, like with MVP as well being involved, and then you got Paul Heyman there, and you just think, oh, beautiful. Like the next couple of weeks is going to be great.
Yes. As long as Brock doesn't keep telling, as long as Brock doesn't keep telling Heyman to shut up.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of his own talking.
Everyone's loving Brock.
Oh yeah,
everyone's loving it.
And it's funny because everyone's like, "Oh my God, Brock Lesnar can cut good promos." Do you not remember like 2003, the stuff that he and Kurt Angle were doing? That stuff was really good.
That's exactly what he's doing. Smart.
Like, I get it why for so long Heyman talked for him, because it makes him seem like more of a monster. But we all knew. Yeah. I mean, when he was in UFC, he was cutting promos on people all the time. And he was not scripted at all back then. He was saying whatever he wanted and was really good.
Yeah.
With that, did you still want to hit on the Tony Khan stuff or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he's a.
All right, let me pull it up.
Tony Khan, mate.
So
he needs a PR team. He needs a PR team.
There's been some controversy with old Mr. Tony Khan over the last couple of weeks. So, and in my opinion, and I'll ask you the same thing, do you think Tony Khan either A, took Big Swole's comments out of context, or was just oversensitive about her comments?
I understand, right? In my opinion, you can defend your company. Okay?
Right.
Start of that tweet, not too much of a problem. Okay? The next part, where he really criticized her, that was the wrong part for me. That was when you think, dude, you are an owner of a company. You're the head of that table, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the head of that table, and eyes are on him. Why would you don't do that to an old employee? You don't. I'm sorry, but you don't.
But
it doesn't matter if you.
Here's the weird thing about him saying she's not, quote, good enough, was back in March of last year. He was asked about Big Swole getting more opportunities on television, and he praised Big Swole, saying he thought she was great and that she was only going to get better.
Bitter. He's been bitter.
Yes.
Which I completely understand, but it was very unprofessional. That's something, say to someone in private, that's on Twitter in front of millions of people. That's embarrassing. For anyone, it doesn't matter if that was male or female, that is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Somebody, especially that people, those wrestlers work so hard, to train, to be the best, to work on everything. And that is just such a kick in the teeth. Oh, the reason why she didn't have a contract, is because she was rubbish, basically.
Right.
That's that's mean.
Because originally it was said that, they mutually parted ways, but then he's going to go and attack her for what she said. So what she said in her podcast basically was, my heart stopped being in it as the reason for why I left AEW. I felt like there were a lot of things, and I told them this in my exit interview, there were a lot of things that needed changed. I know fans of the company don't take criticism well sometimes, certain ones, which is funny that she said that and then he didn't take the criticism well. She said, know this, there's somebody from the inside. The structure is a little off. It's fine to be loose, but I like to have a little bit of more structure. I felt like the women shouldn't have gone through everything they went through just to get on TV or get time. You're signed to a big company, you should get time. All these men are getting time, but the women weren't getting anything, or you're not putting people on TV because more people are coming in. And that's been a big criticism in AEW for a while. That
I've said that since day dot, haven't I, about the women's division? Day dot.
Not even just the women's division, though. It's the company as a whole, that you have all these people that could be really good with more time on television and more time to learn. But then, we signed Kyle O'Reilly. We signed Bobby Fish. We signed Adam Cole. No, nothing against them. But it's like, we signed these guys. They're television ready. They've been working for WWE. So let's just throw them on TV and take TV time away from, say, a Peter Avalon or a Brian Cage or something, So she goes on to state... Go for
how
it.
these people going to learn, or give them, instead of putting them with the guys that have been there a long time, put one of the newer guys in with Adam Cole or Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Give them that. To kind of, give them something like that to off those types of people. They can learn from it.
Right. Because like she says here, what a lot of fans say, you can't keep bringing in people because the more people you bring in, then, they're the new signee. They have to get focused on who's going to get pushed to the side. Like, honestly, when's the last time we saw Sonny Kiss on television? I thought Sonny Kiss could have been somebody that could have been really good for the company. Very athletic, very
him and Joey together, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Even their matches against each other were good.
Yeah, they got like a great thing going.
But then
put them with against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
Yeah. So she also goes on to state that outside of lack of structure, their biggest issue, which is diversity. I do not beat around the bush when it comes to diversity and my people. There is no representation truly. And when there is, it does not come across in the Black community as genuine at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody is so afraid to accept it or say it, but it's not a good look. What happens is when you have this wonderful company that treats people like family, but there's nobody that looks like me, that is represented at the top and in the room with them. They're not helping to necessarily influence the decision, but to explain why certain slang and certain words shouldn't be said. There's no one else who can explain our culture or experience except for us. And I'm not going to try to speak for them because I don't, but it's just interesting when Tony Khan goes, the top two executives are brown, me and Mega. That's the first thing he said in his tweet. But then he goes on to say, we've got Jade, Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, and Mark Quinn, who have all won television matches this month. Plus, the TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. AEW Rampage Street Fight tonight. He then would go on to say we're diverse and then plug a match with 4 or 3 white women and 1 Brazilian woman in it.
No, just he shouldn't be on. I'm sorry, the guy shouldn't have Twitter. The guy just should not have Twitter.
Apparently, Kenny
Like,
Omega.
don't get me wrong.
Kenny Omega needs a PR person too.
Don't get me wrong, okay? Vince is a bit of a melon, right? Vince is a melon. But can you imagine Vince McMahon doing that?
Right?
Imagine the backlash. Oh my god, he gets enough backlash as it is.
I mean, Vince is the same guy that like 3 weeks ago on television said that he likes firing people after like all the 80 releases last year. He goes, yeah, I like firing people. I get it. That's the Mr. McMahon character because the whole you're fired thing back in the day. But that's just an insensitive comment for him to make right now on television. But as far as Tony Khan goes, I mean, that was...
Especially if I think, that they want to... They wanted to make a change in wrestling. AEW wanted to come in. They wanted to be that company that made that change with the management, with the wrestlers, giving everybody an opportunity. But doing exactly what Vince would kind of do and act like, that's not setting.
And for everyone to go, but they put the title on Jade. That was always the plan for the TBS title, was Jade Cargill. Yeah. That wasn't a reaction to the Big Swole stuff and Tony Khan trying to do a make good. But another thing
Jade is a goddess.
Another thing that wasn't really talked about much that Big Swole stated, which I actually admired her for saying, was that when she talks about the lack of structure in AEW, she's talking about it in a way of not everybody can just be told, go out there and do whatever. Some people need to be scripted. Some people need more direction. Not everybody is ready to just go out on live television and wing it like an MJF or a CM Punk or Chris Jericho. And she's also talking about that.
Some people don't have that confidence. You know what I mean? Some people don't have that much confidence.
And she talked about that as well, saying AEW needs a little more structure as far as some people need to be directed more. Some people need to be written for more. It's not just, here's the plan, go out there and say whatever. Because apparently, according to Cody Rhodes, that whole 4 pillars thing that MJF keeps talking about, he didn't tell anybody he was going to say that. He just said it and kept saying it to where it became a thing. And Cody goes, I kind of don't like it, but it became a thing because he just kept saying it. Because
that's so I don't even want to be rude, but I can't stand Cody Rhodes.
And the reason Cody said he didn't like it was basically because it's saying that, these are the 4 people we're going to focus on and nobody else. Which I get it. No, they're going to focus on more people, but it's like the way MJF phrased it and kept saying, it's like, no, these are the 4 guys that are going to be the future of AEW. It's like, no, there's a lot of guys that are going to be the future. And that's why Cody didn't like it. And he said, he's like, that's something he came up with on his own because he's not scripted. He just goes out there and says whatever.
People have either got that and, got that kind of improvisation and they're good on their own. Or they do need help, which is completely understandable.
Right. Exactly. Some people need a little more direction than others. Some people can go out there and be like, I'm confident, I'm good to go. But some people need to be like, okay, exactly what do you want me to say? I don't want to mess this up and then you be mad at me later.
Yeah, which is, it's completely understandable. Some people, really don't want to mess up. Of course. Yeah.
Again, like we were talking earlier with the whole, some people need more experience. Some people need more time. And when you have too many people on the roster where you're getting less and less and less time, and I get it. There's 10 matches on AEW Dark. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of dark matches, but that's still different than going out there on live television or working in front of live crowds. It's just, we filmed a bunch of matches and we slapped them on a show. There's nothing, in watching AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, there's nothing there that's outside of, we just had a bunch of matches and slapped them on television. There's no story really ever, if not much at all, to those matches. And you're not learning to progress the story. You're just learning to have a match and then that be it.
Didn't Jade have a dark match with her championship?
Yeah, she faced Sky Blue. Which there was kind of story in that, but everyone knew that it wasn't going to happen. She's like, if Sky Blue beats me, I'll give her a title shot. No one knew that. No one expected that.
Yeah, Tony, Tony, just stop. Just stop. It was funny how Leo Rush went from that.
But yeah, the Leo Rush stuff was kind of interesting too, because he's like, Tony Khan needs to apologize. And then he apologized.
Yeah, he apologized, and then he was like, Tony Khan still needs to apologize, though. But he never did.
No.
He never
And he's
did.
done how many interviews since that tweet came out? And no one's even, that's the other weird thing. No one's even asked him about it in interviews. He's done at least 2 or 3 since. Like,
I would ask him.
It's like, are they
Personally,
afraid to ask him about it, or what?
Probably. Of course they are.
Were they told by PR, hey, don't mention this in your interview?
There was a thing a little while ago, wasn't there? I don't know if you saw on Twitter with one of the ladies in a press event. Ella, she asked him a question about the women. Did you see this? About the women's division?
Yes.
That's what I mean. People are probably scared about asking him stuff now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that was on a media call where she asked about the women's division, and he like cut her off and was like, oh, by the way, NWA didn't say that I paid for half of them women that were on their show, which apparently he did. And she said he called her and spoke to her, and they talked about it, and he apologized for that. But apparently, according to Swole,
because there was a bit of a kick up.
According to Big Swole, last Friday, she still hasn't heard from Tony Khan or nothing. Just the tweet, and that's it. That no one's tried to contact her from the company, Tony Khan himself, or anybody else. So
he just needs to, just Tony, mate, don't go on Twitter. Or let someone else run your Twitter.
Right.
Like, even before I send a tweet, right? And I'm a nobody. Before I send a tweet, I honestly rewrite that tweet 7,000 times. Just in case. But how did he really look at that tweet and think, do you know what? That's a banger. That should definitely go out there. That should definitely go to millions of people.
Right.
Yeah, no, I just not the one, really.
But there was an interesting issue with Kenny Omega recently on Twitter as well, where it's like maybe they need more PR people in AEW, because some guy was criticizing Kenny Omega and AEW on Twitter, and in the photo, the guy, I don't know if you saw this or not. Did you see this? Kenny Omega and a possible, so there's this guy, and his Twitter photo was him holding a child, and basically, he's. I want to try and pull up the first tweet here so I get it all in context. I got it right here.
How long ago was this?
Last Saturday, Sunday over the weekend. I found it right here. So he was criticizing. So Kenny Omega talks about how Rio's match against Britt Baker was great at Battle of the Belts, and then the picture was posted about Kenny working with Riho when she was a child, or not a child, but she was a lot younger. She was still a minor, and they worked matches and stuff together. And the guy comments, "This is kind of weird." Well, then other people start chiming in about, well, what's weird about this and that and da-da-da. And so Kenny Omega then chimes in and says, "You're tweeting a whole lot of questionable activity when your profile picture boasts you inappropriately touching a child you may or may not have abducted. Yet the photo looks like a father walking with their child. I don't know if that's his kid, but that's just what it looks like." Yet Kenny Omega is going to say that this guy inappropriately touched this kid that he may or may not have abducted. After somebody posted 2 photos of him and Riho when Riho was still... Riho looks maybe 15, 16 in this picture. He called it weird, so Kenny called him a pedophile, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Like,
how did I miss that?
It kind of got swept under the rug. It was a thing for like 3 hours on Sunday. It was a thing for a couple of hours. But then it like just went away quick. But it's like, you can't post a picture with your own child without someone thinking wrong about it? Like, really? Like, as a parent myself, it's like, what, am I going to post a picture with my daughter me giving her a hug or something, or her coming up hugging me, and people are going to think that I did something wrong? Like, no. We don't know if this is this kid's actual or this guy's child.
Jeez, why don't people think?
Yeah.
Why don't people think before they post it?
Exactly.
Especially if you're meant to be a role model for people. You're people or someone that so many people in the world follows, and they're going to pick up on that behavior and think that's okay.
Because this guy then comments back and he said, I called him weird in a comment to a friend. Somebody asked me why, so I explained it. Called him weird. That's it. He accused me of child abuse. He made a vile, defamatory remark. I did not. Like, this guy said nothing bad about Kenny Omega. He just said, oh, those photos are weird. He just said, that's weird. And like, he retweeted. After Kenny said what he said, the next tweet from him was, that'll be my daughter. He confirms that's his daughter in the photo with him.
He should to confirm it.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Why?
So, like, weird. Not to use that because that's what started all of this, but it's just for Kenny Omega to say that.
Assuming that someone's a paedophile.
Yeah.
Madness. Oh, Twitter. Oh, Twitter.
Sometimes it's good, but a lot of times it's bad.
People don't think today.
And I don't know if Kenny Omega's apologized for this. Not that I have seen publicly, at least.
I doubt. He might have slid him a secret DM and it might have just be like, "Look, sorry, called you a paedophile."
I know he said something bad about. He said something bad about Jim Cornette recently and apologized for that.
Oh yeah, but he'd have to because Jim Cornette's gonna absolutely rip him one. As if, oh dear, what is the matter with people? But I see it often. I do look sometimes, and I go on Twitter and I think, what are you doing?
Right.
You are a public figure. Like, stop. Like, obviously, I know it's there is a limit. Some people can be really horrible. Like I've seen that the trolls, they can say some really nasty things and be disgusting, and that's bang out of order.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some things you can sweep under that carpet. Just sweep it. And isn't going to affect you all your life. It's a bit different if it was something absolutely revolting and it needed to be stopped.
Right.
But too far. Too far.
And the tweet from Omega is still up. It's not like he just pulled it and didn't apologize. It's still there.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Especially after the guy, which, like you said, he shouldn't have had to confirm, but confirmed, well, that's my daughter.
Should never have done that. Kenny Omega's business. Hey.
Someone asked here, is Kenny Omega in character? In character or not, that's not something you say.
How? I can imagine MJF saying that. Something like that.
Well, yeah, well, okay, so in most characters or not, that's something you shouldn't say.
I wouldn't think Kenny Omega would come out.
But to be honest, I don't know if MJF would even go that far. Maybe.
He's brutal.
But when it comes to, like, I've never seen him say stuff like, I've never seen him say anything that could be that bad as far as, like, that could put somebody, like, a comment that would, because that comment's basically saying you should be in jail. I don't think MJF would go that far. I mean, maybe I'm giving him too much benefit of the doubt.
Because there's still time. There is still time.
Right. Usually when Kenny Omega makes comments like that, or not Kenny Omega, MJF, it's at least to an adult about an adult thing, not anything to do with children and you doing something wrong with a child, but
No, I think he does know. He knows his limits slightly. I don't think he's all bad guy.
right.
Deep down, I reckon he's really lovely. Deep down, very, very deep down. But I reckon deep down he is.
Mm-hmm. But with that, I think that is gonna wrap everything up.
That is it.
I had a good time. I want to say thank you once again for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime.
Oh, we'll have to do the Rumble predictions all the time as well.
Yes.
So excited. You're just gonna get like these messages from me like 3 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm still awake. I'm so excited.
Right. I mean, we got next week's show, and then the week after that, we can do Rumble predictions. That's the week of the Royal Rumble. That sounds good to me.
We haven't really got much going. Nothing. Is there any pay-per-views or anything going in between for anyone? There is it?
Not that I could think of. I mean, there's like a UFC, but that's about it. UFC, and then there's like indie shows. I know here locally for West Coast Pro Wrestling, there's a big show Friday night.
What's that? Who's that?
That's West Coast Pro Wrestling. Let's see, What do they have on that show this weekend? That's here locally. Nick goes to all those shows. They have, I think Jacob. Yeah, Jacob Fatu is going to fight Homicide in a street fight. That should be really good. Their champion is AJ Gray. They just announced Speedball Mike Bailey's going to be working the show.
Nice.
He's
wonderful.
He's in a triple threat. I think there's a fatal 4-way match with TJP and some others as well. And Nicole Savoy is also on that show. She's great.
Ooh.
But with that, guys, honestly, thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Yes. How can they find you?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at WatchesJess. Everything goes on there. New stuff coming up. Busy. Just great. Yeah. Really Royal Rumble time.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will be live back here later tonight if you are watching live for AEW Dynamite. So have a good night, and I'll see you next time.
Goodbye.